The Arizona weather.
Good morning, YouTube. It is straight up 8 o'clock.
Brand new this morning, a new poll from 08 Predictive Insights
8 o'clock. Headline news on KTAR right now.
With a double-digit lead over Republican challenger Blake Masters in a race that could determine the balance of power in the Senate. KTAR's Jim Cross live in the News Center.
Yeah, Peter Kelly at 47.35% over Republican challenger Blake Masters. Libertarian Mark Victor at 6%. Now, 12% of the voters surveyed are undecided. Pollster Mike Noble says Kelly is doing well with important voting groups
Like Hispanic and independent voters who are very key in
So it's Wednesday, September 21st, 2022, still.
State's office for Mark Fincham with a 5-point lead over his Democratic challenger, Adrian Fontes.
Importantly, 1/4 of likely voters of 25% are still unsure as to whom they vote for.
Just left my apartment. Just finally got back into my apartment. Yeah, I finally heard back from finally heard back from my landlord. I want to say probably about 6:45-ish. While I was having breakfast with Adam Gilligan. So that was pretty cool. That was actually a pretty damn cool breakfast. He's got himself a temporary job. Hopefully that works out for him. I told him if he needs any help getting there to hit me up, I'll give him a ride. So, still seems like he's kind of on the fence about going back to Parker. He just doesn't like Parker. But yeah, I'm gonna fix the angle on my phone here.
So the showers are definitely hit and miss right now.
That's a little.
You hit hard. That's when you get hit at all. It's pretty nice condition.
I have such classy cinematography on this channel. That's a little better.
You turn west onto the 202 freeway. You get into Tempe and it's shopping.
Anyway, I'm glad he's got himself a job lined up. Sounds like it's pretty good pay to do some painting. So, y'all on the right hand booty. You know, I'm looking at her. I'm thinking she's older. And the reality is she's probably the same age as me. It's disturbing how often I see women and I'm thinking, hey, she looks all right for being older, and then when I find out, you know, I'm like, she's like 5 years younger than I am. Oh well. Welcome to my reality. So never did hear back from Priscilla. I don't know how she might not be even out of bed yet, to be honest. Or it could be she's just got, oh, that looks obnoxious as hell. It could be, wow, that looks, I wonder if it's recording as bad as it looks on the screen. It looks, it's the vibrations of my own phone now, plus the stabilization of my iPhone translating into. That looked really weird.
59% of Arizona Latinos said that's a no-go. Participated in the January 6th riot. 51% of Arizona Latinos said that's a no-go.
Pollster Gary Segura on behalf of Unidos US and Mi Familia.
I would imagine they're talking about Blake Masters.
Also prefer candidates with experience working with different racial and ethnic groups. For the latest on the November 8th midterm election, head to ktr.com/Arizona votes.
You know, I for what it's worth, I do tend to lean kind of conservative, but I'm not particularly fond of Blake Masters either. I do like the Libertarian, from what I've heard of him, but I don't think he has a chance in hell of getting elected. But I vote for him before I vote for Mark Kelly.
Made it to the southwest border. Taylor Tessler, KTAR News.
KTAR eyes on the economy and anxious Wall Street watchers as the Federal Reserve mulls another
listen to this.
3/4 of a point to cool off an overheated economy.
Americans paid 8.3% more for goods in August compared to a year ago, but in some areas,
look at all the
it's even
trash
worse,
on the side
like
of the
in
road.
Phoenix, where prices are up a whopping 13% in the last year.
I got milk at $5 for a half gallon.
So will today's expected interest rate hike provide any relief for your wallet?
As they say, monetary policy works with a long lag, so it'll take a little bit of time. The economy will slow.
Yeah, it's something I've been noticing all over the neighborhood. It's just large piles of trash everywhere. And I'm thinking what's going on is that I'm thinking the city of Phoenix bulk trash pickup just hasn't been happening. I haven't really looked into that. I'm just noticing that all over the neighborhood and all over several neighborhoods, there's just big piles of trash in front of people's houses and in the alleys and all over the place. So I don't know what the hell's going on with the city of Phoenix and their bulk trash pickup, but they need to get on that. I don't like this area looking so trashy. There's another big pile of like lumber and shit right there on the side of the road. Anyway, so glad to be back in my apartment. You know, and I'm glad I've got such a cool landlord about it. I mean, yeah, I had to wait, you know, for him to respond to me, but all told, I was locked out of my house for, I don't know, about 4 hours. Not the end of the world. But yeah, I know so many places where you would have to wait until the office opens and then pay a lockout fee and blah blah blah, and I don't have to deal with that shit. Anyway, I'm gonna pause this. I'll be right back. And I'm back. It is 8:10 in the morning. Landlord has my keys back for the next time my stupid ass locks myself out of my apartment. So as I was saying, I had breakfast with Adam. That was a good time. He's a really likable guy. Kind of nice to actually spend a little time with him while I'm sober, as opposed to the last time. And I told him, you know, I was like, I kind of apologized for showing up so drunk, and he told me I was fine, you know, which is, at least I'm generally a really happy, friendly drunk. But yeah, he said it actually made him feel better knowing that I had all that time to sit there and chill with him at Yoshi's and sober up. Yeah, that drive from I don't even remember a bit of the drive from Bullocks to Yoshi's. Absolutely don't. And I really shouldn't be doing that shit. So it's looking like it might start pouring at any moment. But I'm gonna try to, since I'm up and the pain is finally gone from my jaw. It's not hurting at all right now, which is honestly, it's the first time since like Friday that it hasn't hurt at all. Oh shit! Here's my mechanic. And welcome back, YouTube. It is still Wednesday, September 21st, 2022, 8:51 a.m. So yeah, that was Rob on the phone. Man, it is hot right now. I am so hot. So it rained a little bit. So I had to down some tea, dying here. All that did was crank up the damn humidity. So that was Rob. He said he was on his way down to the shop and that he could like work on my car first thing first when he got there. I'd head on down, so I'm heading on down. He said he was still probably 30 plus minutes away traffic wise, so I told him I was already on my way to well, that was weird. Just a really weird shift in the idle there. And here goes bus route 3. Oh my god, I am so sweaty and nasty right now. Anyway, I told him I was on here to work on my recycling. So I worked on my recycling for a little bit. Haven't done that, and god, I feel like it's probably been over a month since I've worked on my recycling. I hate how that wall on the left makes it hard to see if anybody's walking from the left. So I hate to be the guy that blocks the sidewalk for pedestrians, but you can't see pedestrian traffic. Just wave at her. Hey. Yeah, you can't see pedestrians walking to the left until you're past that wall and you've blocked them. So, That kind of sucks. I don't know what's going on with the construction here. This is the first time I've really seen this. Well, I mean, I saw it when I was going down to my storage when I was on the phone with Rob. But
give us some sort of a story that's total BS, and we still let you in. And he said, he basically said they should claim asylum in Mexico, and he's got a good point. I mean, that's if you go from one country.
yeah, the immigration thing's getting nuts. I don't even want to get lost down that rabbit hole, but boy, it sure is making for some interesting news headlines lately, especially the load that went to Martha's Vineyard last week, and the other load that went to went to right outside the vice president's house. Oh, good times. I've heard online there's a plane on its way to President Biden's beach house with more I don't know, illegal immigrants, migrants, questionable asylum seekers, whatever you want to call them. I'm just kind of grabbing my popcorn and watching the show. It's all beyond my control. But I got to admit, as somebody who lives in Arizona, hearing a bunch of people freak out like 50 people is a large amount of migrants is just funny. I mean, 50 is nothing. Sometimes there's probably more than that on one of our light rail trains rolling through Phoenix here. Anyway, so I'm heading to Rob's. Of course, there was the question: do you have any money? Yeah, I figure I'm about $200 shy of my rent right now, and we'll give it. I told him I could probably spare $100 and throw his way, so that's gonna make me about $300 shy. I should be all right. I got a full paycheck coming from Amazon on Friday. I got my karaoke show tomorrow, so I should be fine. I should be able to pay my rent on Friday or Saturday. I have totally let my eBay store slip. I haven't even followed up on that stuff. Since last week, I've just been beyond laying in my bed and combining files and uploading files to YouTube from like that I'd be recorded the week before. Yeah, that's about all I've had the energy to do. That and eat and take pills and have unpleasant trips to the bathroom. That's been my week. And curl up in pain from the broken tooth. Kind of was hoping it would start hurting yesterday, but it's finally stopped hurting today. But oh god, I hate that jingle. Wow, there are absolutely no homeless people loitering next to the old Circle K at the 44th Street North bus stop. That is like the first time I've ever come through here this time of the day, and there hasn't been a whole lot of homeless people there. Phoenix PD must have really stepped up their enforcement over there. Although the way they're doing the enforcement to me is just asinine. You know, they're not fixing the solution. They're not moving them into rehab or into housing. They're just moving. Go get on the train. Just walk that way. And just move them from point A to point B. Eventually to point C, which is the zone. I still haven't made it back to the clerk of court's office to get the city of Phoenix's answer. I really was going to do that last week, but just last week I worked some. I was just between work and just I was working long shifts and I was tired. And this week, pretty much I've spent the whole week just in bed with a massively painful broken tooth. I think my plan after I leave, drop off my car, is like I'm just gonna ride the train up to my dentist office and just get there early, and just sit there and enjoy their Wi-Fi and air conditioning. I don't really have any other reason to go home, other than maybe to try and charge my phones. Although the thought of getting caught in the rain trying to walk to the dentist office is unappealing. And it does look like it's going to rain again. Rob said he was coming down on the I-17 from North Phoenix, like up around Bell Road. He said it was it was pouring over there. And then there was actually an emergency broadcast system message. Oh, maybe about an hour and a half ago. Oh, look at this guy. Both of them, both the little parking minibus and the guy in front of me, ran past the stop line and were stopped in the crosswalk. Just no respect for pedestrians by motorists in this city at all. As I prepare to be a pedestrian for the next couple of hours. Yeah, today's been a fun day. I'm going to get a tooth ripped out, and got to spend 4 hours sort of being functionally homeless, living in my car, and now I'm going to deal with how many ever hours of being a pedestrian again. Rob did say it's probably going to take him about 2 hours to check everything he needs to check. Just going to have him go through the coolant system, the cooling system, check the thermostat, check the radiator, check all the hoses, check the water pump, although I'm sure the water pump's working all right. I've probably had some problems, over the last week. Is that overheating that happened was the Friday before last Friday, and it hasn't overheated since. But I have seen the temperature gauge kind of go climbing a couple of times. So I honestly think the problem is that when he did the electrical work to try to fix the air conditioning, and the wires under the hood they're kind of a hot mess. And I'm sure he's just trying to improvise a bunch of parts, because it's not like you can go get parts from Saturn anymore. That's not a thing. So trying to get the AC working, and the air is working, although it's not as cold as it usually is. But yeah, he's trying to. I think he probably messed it up in such a way that the fan isn't coming on as much as it's supposed to, or when it's supposed to, or at all. He seemed pretty convinced it comes on when I turn on the air. He's like, well, just run the air all the time, and then your fan is running. I'm like, yeah, it overheats quicker when the fan is when the air is on. I mean, the first day when I was driving over to Bullock's and it started overheating, I noticed I was able to get the gauge going down just by turning off the air. And now, how much of that was from me turning off the air, and how much was me that out of getting out of some traffic that was at a standstill and moving, it's hard to say. But at any rate, he's going to check everything out. I'm going to have him look over the air and see why it's not blowing as cold. It's probably just a little low on Freon. And for those who aren't in Arizona, that are like, why are you worried about air conditioning? It's almost October. Because I live in Phoenix, Arizona. I still got a good solid 2 months of needing my air conditioning in my car. It stays hot here. I heard somebody talking, I don't know where it was, probably in a YouTube comment or maybe in a YouTube video. Somebody was talking about how there's really only 2 seasons here, summer and not summer. and they're not wrong. Oh yeah, he's definitely here. I see the door cracked. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. Thanks for coming with on the drive. And actually got quite a bit of work on my recycling done, by the way. Been kind of not even thinking about that lately, but it's nice that it's finally going to cool off enough that I can start being productive with my storage again, because it is full. And I should really be trying to liquidate some of that stuff and turning some of it into money and renting less storage space. Anyway, thanks for coming with.